Hello, fourth grade. Welcome to math class today. Today we are going to be working on estimating perimeter and area. So our I can statement, I can estimate perimeter and area. Yes! So you are going to need your math book, a piece of paper, and a pencil. On your math paper, on the right-hand corner, I have it on the bottom here because I have some figures that we're going to be working with up there. But obviously on your paper, you want this on the top. You want your name, lesson 111, and the date, which is May 12th, 2020. All right, so just let's take a look at our I can statement here. We want to make sure we understand all the vocabulary, and these are our three key words. Estimate, remember, is it's not going to find the exact number, but we're going to find a very close answer to the actual answer. So an estimate is your good guess, but it's not just a random guess. You're not just saying, 5, 2. You're actually guessing based on the evidence that's in front of you. So a very good estimate. Remember, perimeter is how many units around the outside, and area is how many square centimeters, meters, whatever, how much it takes up the inside of a shape, okay, or a figure. So what I want you to do is we're going to do 2 exercises today, and I want you to turn in your book to page 705. So when you're using estimation with finding like the areas or perimeter shapes, we are going to use like a grid, and that grid means you're using something that shows squares. And the way that we find the answer is we count the number of squares. Now, when your shape is on top of a grid, and we'll use the blue one right now as our shape. What the first thing you want to do is you want to count the total number of squares. So remember, when we're talking about area, we're talking about square units, square centimeters. For the purposes of this, we are just going to take a look and we're going to count these as units, okay? So let's find area first, and then we'll do the perimeter, okay? So when we're taking a look for area, we need to count, if I can get this cap off, okay. We're going to count the full squares first, okay? So let's do that. So if I were to take a look, and we've got, we'll call this A, B, let's see here, C. Now if you look here, part of this is cut off, but a very small part. And remember, we're providing an estimate, okay? Which is a very good guess. And so since most of this is taken up by the shape, we're going to count that as a full one. So then we take a look. So we have A, B, C, and the reason why I'm lettering them is that shows the different squares that we have, okay? So we have A, B, C, and now the rest of them are kind of like half, okay? So then I look here, and I say, well, the combination of this and this equals 1 whole square. So this would be, we'll call this D. Those 2 together would make 1 square. So we have A, B, C, D. Ooh. And I think what we could do with this one is the combination of maybe this and this, because there's almost like a full half here, and this has a half. So we're going to say this will be E, and then this is a tiny section, but this is a big one. But you see how this is tiny and this is tiny and big, and then we'll say F. So then I count the letters. So I have A, B, C, D, E, and then F. So our area, so that takes up, let's count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the area of this shape would be 6 square units. So remember, it's the amount of area inside. So we counted the total number of squares inside this. And we basically added the ones together that look like, if you put them together, they make 1 complete square. So this would be considered 6 square units. Now we need to find the perimeter. And when you're taking a look at perimeter, you have to take a look at how many squares this is taking up. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. That's saying how much up. So then this would be this. So the area is 6 square units. The perimeter would be 6 units. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So that's our example. So now we're actually going to go on and talk about the lesson practice. I want you to turn to page 707 in your book, and I want you to take a look at letter A. All we're going to do for our purposes for this lesson is letter A. You do not have to do B or C. Okay, if you want to, that's fine, but you are not required to do that. I figure if we do one example in the book that I just showed you, and then we do this, that gives you idea enough of how to do this. And if you're not sure, you can always review and go back and take a look at this again. Okay? All right, so let's take a look. So letter A, it says estimate the perimeter and area of each figure on these grids. Each small square represents 1 square centimeter in problem A. So, and then it talks about each small square represents 1 square inch in problem B. We're not going to do problem B, we're just going to focus on problem A. Okay? So we look at problem A. And I tried to reproduce that up here. So first things first, I'm going to remove my name. You know how to do that already. And then we'll put this out of the way. Okay, so we want to figure out the perimeter and the area. So I think what we'll do first is let's take a look at the perimeter. So we're going to take a look and let's count first of all. We count how many centimeters are. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do you see how each centimeter represents 1? Even though it's not straight, that's still considered 1 centimeter long, even if it's slanted, okay? So our perimeter for this one, and we said that these are centimeters, would be for letter A, and you would write this down for letter A, would be 13 centimeters. Okay, so now let's figure out the area. We're basically gonna do the same technique that we used with this other example. We're just gonna go through, find all of your full squares first, and then we go back and combine squares to make one complete square. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, so now let's do our full squares. So we have, and we'll do our letters too. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So now we're left with our remainders of our squares. So I think what we can do is we have A, B, C, D, E, F. Our next one's G. I'm thinking we could take a look at this and this. G, these two, H, and then I. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So our area would be 9 square, and you could put SQ period centimeters. And that would be your area. So basically with estimating, with the squares, you take a look, count your full squares first, go back and put together ones that look pretty close to equal 1 full square. As far as finding perimeter, just count how many lines are going around the outside, whether they're straight or slanted. So I hope you understand this lesson, 4th grade, your assignment for next time. And again, you don't have to do B and C. Just do now pages 707 to 709, numbers 1 through 30, and please take a look at the early finishers. I look forward to seeing your work. Bye.